Hey there, Yoga with Ben friends. Welcome to another flow. Let's start in child's pose. You can bring your hips to your heels, arms reach out long to the top of your mat. Just start to find your breath here, inhaling deeply, exhaling slowly. Inhaling for 4, 3, 2, 1. And exhale, 4, 3, 2, 1. Try to lengthen your side body. Just let go of your day, your week, really the whole year, kind of. Just let it go. Come into tabletop. You have your hands at your knees. Knees just below your hips. Palms below your shoulders. And then flip your fingertips so that they come towards your knees. Come into a little wrist stretch here as we move into some cat-cows. So inhaling, drop your stomach, lift your head, inhale, cow. Exhale, reverse that. Tuck your chin into your chest. Find your cat pose. Inhale, come into cow. Exhaling, finding your cat. Keeping the wrists where they are. Just feeling that. If it's too much, you can flip them around, but try to stay with that here. One more, coming into cow. Exhale, coming into cat. And release that. Flip your palms, fingertips towards the top of your mat. Tuck your toes and come right into downward facing dog. You can walk your dog, bend your right leg, bend your left. Finding stillness here. Pressing into your palms, pressing into the tips of your fingers. Pull the belly up. Lift your hips as high as they can go. Heels don't have to be on the mat. Just try to move them so that maybe one day they will be. Send your eyes to your fingertips. Walk to your fingertips. The top of your mat. Feet about hips width apart. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Bend your knees. Rest your torso on your thighs. And then reach for opposite elbows. We'll come into ragdoll here. You can move, or you can stay right where you are. Gently shake your head yes, gently shake your head no. Just really release your lower spine here. Release your bind, plant your hands on the mat. Inhale, halfway lift. And exhale, fold. Heel toe your feet to touch. Big toes touch. Heels slightly apart. Squeeze your knees together and come into your chair pose. Lifting up, squeeze the knees together. Zip the belly button up and in, arms to the sky, shoulders dropping down. Tailbone long, the weight is in your heels here. Make sure you can see all 10 of your toes. And then bring your palms to heart center, elbows come back towards each other. Lean forward and then hook your left elbow to the outside of your right knee and twist your chair here. Make sure that the left knee is not surfing forward. If it is, pull your left hip back in line with your right. Weight is still in your heels here. Then twist from your core. Try to stack your shoulders. Breathing here. And then keep your hands at heart center, come back to your chair. And then we'll take this on the other side. Right elbow hooks on the outside of your left knee. Making sure that right knee isn't surfing forward. Weight is in your heels, hands pressed into each other, stacking the shoulder blades. Try to release any tension in your face, in your jaw. Just breathe. A few more breaths here, and then lengthen your legs, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. And exhale, fold. Step your left foot back, lunge on tented fingers. Pull the right hip back, right knee is right over your right ankle. Sending your chest forward, shoulder blades away from yours. Plant your left palm below the left shoulder. Right hand can come back to your lower back. Make sure you're square, and then twist from your ribs, stack your shoulders. Lift the right hand to the sky. Gentle twists here. Lifting out of the left shoulder. You're going to come onto the knife edge side of your left foot and turn the right toes to the right. And then drop both hips to the mat. Send your right fingertips towards the back of the room. Lift back up. And then you're going to step the right foot back to meet the left. Stack it. We'll come into a side plank here. Left arm is down, right arm to the sky. Try to keep your hips squared. Lift up. And then come back into high plank. Hold onto your high plank. Pull the belly button away from the mat. Shoulders away from the mat. Front side body's engaged. Focus on your breathing, inhaling and exhaling. And then we'll press back, downward facing dog. You can pedal it out, shake the hips, and do whatever you need. Inhale, come up onto the toes, bend your knees, eyes to thumbs, step or jump to the top of your mat. Inhale, halfway lift, and exhale, fold. Inhale, reach and rise, hands to the sky, palms touch. Exhale, melt back down, forward fold, hands to the mat. Inhale, halfway. Exhale, fold. This time, step the right foot back, lunge on tented fingers. Breathe here. Plant the right palm below the right shoulder, and then bring the left hand back to your lower back. Push the left hip back, right hip forward. Turn from your ribs, stack your shoulders. Lift your left arm to the sky. Come on to the knife edge side of your right foot. Left toes point to the left. Sink your hips to the mat. Reach your left fingertips to the back of the room. Sink the hips. And then press the hips back up. And then you're going to step back to your side plank. Left foot stacked or staggered with your right. Left arm to the sky, hips squared, reaching up. And then left hand comes down, come into high plank. Hold on to your high plank, breathe. You're going to release onto the mat for 4, 3, 2, and 1. Come all the way down. Chin is on the mat. Thumbs by your nipples. Sink your hips into the mat. Lift your kneecaps up off the mat. Engage your thighs. And then come into baby cobra here. Lift up. And release. Sink your hips again into the mat. Lift your hips and lift up into baby cobra once again. Interlace your hands behind your butt. You have a clasp here. Lift your shoulders even more off the mat. Really press in. One more breath. And release back down to the mat. Bring your hands by your nipples and then press back into child's pose. Bring your knees to touch. Release the lower spine. From here, you're going to make your way back into downward facing dog. Inhale, right leg to the sky. Keep flexing your foot. Right pinky toe coming towards the top of the front of the mat. Keep squaring up. Think the triceps coming back towards each other. And then open your right toes to the right. Bend your knees, stack your hips. Triceps coming back towards each other. Keep lifting your knee to the sky. And then re-square, straighten out your right leg. Inhale. Exhale, swing the right leg forward, lunge on tented fingers. Setting yourself up for warrior one here. Drop the left heel, left foot to the left, create space for your hips. Lift your chest up off your thigh and then bring your hands under your hips. Pull the right hip back, left hip comes forward. Engage the left thigh. Left knee's engaged, and then when you're ready, fingertips to the sky. Sip your belly button to your spine. Fingertips are an extension of your side body. Bend into that right knee some more. And then interlace your hands behind your butt. Lift your chest up, walk your thumbs down your left hamstring. Reach back, come into a back bend here, hold. And then we'll come into our humble warrior. So your right shoulder kisses the inside of your right knee. Right hip comes back to the left, head falls forward. Keeping the bind here. Let your head be as heavy as possible. And then lift your chest halfway up. Keep your bind. Fingertips going towards your heels. Pop up onto your left toes, ball of your left toe, and then lift off in a bound airplane. Keep flexing the left pinky toe. Keep the hips square. You can lose the bind if you want. Hands can come to heart center, or you can come into true warrior 3. And then find a baby back bend in your upper back. Keep a baby cobra here. From here, you're going to bring your left knee into your chest as you stand. Hold. Keep your bind. And then press your left heel forward. Extend that front leg. Hold. For 3, 2, 1. Swing that left foot back. Come back into your warrior 3 airplane here. And then maybe you hold on to your bind, open up that left hip, come into half moon. So your right hand can come to a block, or you can balance it up off the mat. Left hands to the sky. Find your true half moon here. And then bend your right leg, you're coming into warrior 2. Heel to arch alignment. Stretch fingertips away from each other. Shoulder blades come back to your spine. Abs are nice and tight here. Find your gaze over your right fingertips. And then flip your front palm, reverse your warrior. Extended side angle, drop in. Right thigh in contact with your right elbow. Pull the right hip back. Stack your shoulders. Left arm is up and over. Lift the ribs in. Left bicep by your left ear, palm facing down. See if you can keep pulling the heels back towards each other. Left thighs engaged. And then if you want more challenge here, you can lift your left or your right elbow up off your right thigh. Hold on to your beach ball. And breathe. Come back to your warrior 2. Flip your front hand, reverse your warrior. And then cartwheel your hands to the mat. Frame your right leg, step back, and flow, high to low plank. Inhale, upward facing. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, left leg to sky. Foot is flexed. Pinky toe coming towards the mat. Left toes to the left, opening up that left hip, bend your knee and stack your hips. Triceps coming back towards each other. Try not to sink into the right shoulder. And then extend your left heel up. Re-square the hips. And then step it forward, lunge on tented fingers. Plant your right heel. We're coming into warrior one here. Right toes pointed, 45-degree angle. Pull the left hip back, engage the right thigh, deep bend into your left thigh. Pull the belly button up and in, and then reach fingertips to the sky, warrior one. Reaching up. And then inhale, interlace your hands behind your butt. Take a back bend, crawl your hands down that right hamstring. And then we'll come into humble warrior. Forward fold, left shoulder kisses the left knee, head comes forward, left hip comes back to your right heel. Head is nice and heavy. And then lift your shoulders halfway up. Come onto the ball of your right foot. And then lift off into bound airplane. Foot is flexed. Pinky toe coming back towards the mat. See if the right hip can stay in line with the left. You can lose the bind if you want to. And then bring the right knee into your chest as you stand. And then we'll press our right heel forward, straighten out that right leg and hold. Lift it as high as you can up off the mat. And then swing the right foot back, coming back to your airplane. And then open up into half moon. Left hand comes down to the block or the mat, or you can float it if you want to play with some balance. See if you can stack your hips. Breathing here. And then bend the left leg, land into warrior two. Heel the arch alignment, stretch fingertips away from each other, shoulder blades come back to the spine. And then flip your front hand, reverse your warrior. Extended side angle, left forearm onto left thigh. Stack your shoulders, stack your ribs, right bicep by right ear, palm facing to the mat. Think of your heels coming back towards each other, right thighs engaged, pulling the left hip back. And then lift your left forearm up off your thigh. Hold onto your beach ball, find your core here. Still bending into that left knee. And then come back, warrior two. Flip and reverse. Come back through your warrior two, and then cartwheel your hands to the mat. Frame your front leg. Step back and flow, high plank to low plank. Inhale, upward facing. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, come up onto your toes, bend your knees, eyes to your thumbs, and then step or float to the top of your mat. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, reach and rise, hands to the sky, palms touch. Forward fold, hands to the mat. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, plant your hands, step back and flow. High plank to low plank. Inhale, upward facing. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, come up on your toes, bend your knees, eyes to the thumbs. Float or step, top of the mat. Inhale, halfway lift. And exhale, fold. Inhale, reach and rise, hands to the sky, maybe your palms touch. And exhale, forward fold, hands to your mat. Inhale, halfway. Plant your hands, high to low plank. Moving through your back bend. And then we'll meet in down dog. One more time. Inhale, come up on your toes, bend your knees. Float or step, top of the mat. Inhale, halfway. Exhale, fold. Heel, toe, your feet to touch. Toes together, heels slightly apart. And come into your chair pose once again. From here, bring your hands to heart center. We're going to sink all the way down. Sink your hips to your heels. Slowly come down. And then we'll set ourselves up for boat. Shins come parallel to the mat. Feet are lifted up off the mat. You can extend your legs long or you can keep them bended. We love boat here at Yoga with Ben. Come down to low boat. Holding here, breathing here, and then come back up to high. Challenge yourself here, come back to low boat. Cross your ankles. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And then squeeze your knees, hands. Your head comes down, lower back comes down. And then roll onto your spine. Hug the knees into your chest. And then we'll rock backwards and forwards on our mat. Cross your ankles, step back and flow. High plank to low plank. Through your back bend, hold upward facing here. And then press back, downward facing dog. Inhale, right leg to the sky. Step the right leg forward to the right pinky finger. Come into lizard lunge here. You can drop the back knee down if you want, or you can stay with your leg lifted, your toes tucked. You get more of a hip stretch that way, but if you want to find more restorative pose, you can drop the back knee down. If you have the mobility, you can bring your elbows to the mat or stay right where you are. And then we'll walk our fingertips to our back foot, come into Skandasana on our left foot. Hands to heart center. Lifting your belly button away from your thigh, allow your hips to sink in. And then you're gonna sink your hips all the way down to the mat, so your butt is on the mat. Swing your left foot forward, cross it over the right knee, and come into a twist here. So hug your left knee into your chest, your left foot, your left leg is over your right leg. And then bring your right elbow to the outside of that left knee and take a twist. Your left palm is down. Find length in the spine and twist to your left side. Release that bind. And then we're going to take the right leg, bend it, so you're in that little twist there. And then we're going to come into standing splits on our left leg. So lift up. Your left leg is planted, your right leg is lifted to the sky. Maybe your left hand comes to your left or ankle, maybe the right hand does, play with some balance. Just try to get that back leg lifted high. And then your right foot comes behind the left foot, pinky toes touch. Come into your sciatica stretch. Inhale, halfway lift. And exhale, fold. You can use a block here if the mat feels far away, or you can bring your palms to the mat if you have it. Just breathe here. Keeping a deep bend into your left knee, your right leg is straight. Plant your hands on the mat, lift halfway up. So you can keep your ankles crossed here. We're gonna come into crow. Plant your palms on the mat. And then come to your crow here. Keeping the ankles crossed if you can. One more breath. And then jump back. Take a flow, inhaling through your upward dog. And then we can take a little break here. You can grab a drink of water, towel off. Take a child's pose if you need. Few breaths. And then when you're ready, we'll meet in down dog. Pedal it out. Inhale, left leg to the sky. Bring it forward, come into your lizard lunge. So that left foot's on the outside of your left pinky finger. Back knee can come down if you want, or it can stay lifted. And then walk your fingertips to your right leg to the back of the room, coming into Skandasana. Try your best to keep your right heel planted on the mat. Your left toes are pointed. Left leg is nice and straight. Hands can come to heart center. And then you're going to plant your butt on the mat. We'll take that twist on the other side. So swing that right leg up and over the left. Hug it in. And then bring your left elbow to the outside of that right knee. Right palm is on the mat. Take the twist. And then release. Bring your left heel to your butt. And then when you're ready, press back into your standing splits. Right foot is on the mat. Left leg is lifted to the sky. Bring your hands to your right ankle, play with some balance. And then drop your left foot behind your right, pinky toes touch. Sciatica stretch. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, halfway lift. And then once again, we'll come into crow. So try to keep your ankles crossed if you can. And then find your crow. One more breath. And then jump back. Take your flow. Inhaling upward facing. And exhale, downward facing. Again, you can get a drink, towel off here. Been working really hard. Quick stop in child's pose. And then when you're ready, you can tuck your toes. We'll meet in down dog. Inhale, right leg to the sky. Step it forward, coming into lunge on tented fingers. Drop the left knee onto the mat and straighten out the right leg, come into half splits. Flex your toes towards your face, send your chest forward. And then come forward, lunge on tented fingers. Sink your hips towards your mat. Just pressing the left hip flexor towards the mat. See if you can release. You can do this with your back knee on the mat or your back leg straightened. Just really focus on sinking your hips here in your low lunge. And then if your left knee is not lifted, lift it. Drop your left heel. We're going to come into warrior two from here. So right knee is bend. And then bring your palms to touch above your head. Straighten your right leg. Bring your toes in, heels out. And take a forward fold here. So inhale, lift your chest to the sky. Exhale, wide leg forward fold. Hands drop down. You can walk your hands over to one foot and then the other. See whatever variations you like in this forward fold here. Release your bind, bring your hands to the mat. Inhale, halfway lift. And then walk your fingertips to your right toes. Square your hips, so pull the right hip back, left hip comes forward. Lengthen the spine. And then we'll bring our back foot forward. We'll come into a pyramid pose here. So your left foot steps towards the top of your mat. Straighten out through that right leg and find your pyramid. Use a block if you need it. Just releasing over that front leg. Deep hamstring stretch here. Inhale, halfway lift. And then step the left foot to meet the right. Forward fold. Inhale, reach and rise, hands to the sky. And exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway. Plant your hands, step back and flow, high to low plank. Upward facing. Exhale, down dog. Breathing in your downward. Inhale, left leg to the sky. Left leg steps forward, lunge on tented fingers. Drop the right knee to the mat. Coming into half splits. Straighten the left leg. Flex the left toes towards your face. Send your chest forward. And then you're going to come forward in a low lunge. You can keep the right knee on the mat if you want, or you can lift it up. Just sink your hips onto the mat, let your hips feel heavy. Tick the right toes up off the mat. And then drop the right heel, open up into Warrior 2. Bring your palms to touch over your head, straighten the left leg. And then bring your hands onto your hips. We're going to find Goddess pose, so turn your toes out, your heels in. Elbows come back. And then sink down into your thighs. You can bring your hands to your thighs, dip one shoulder and then the other. Just really sink into your thighs here. Breathe in your Goddess pose. Release that, straighten the legs, walk your fingertips forward. And then we're gonna come into our pyramid pose on our left leg this time. So walk your left or your back foot in a little bit. Make sure it's firmly planted on the mat. Straighten your left leg and then fold over that left leg. Find your pyramid pose. Keep the hips square. Deep hamstring stretch here on your left leg. Inhale halfway. And then bring your right foot to meet your left at the top of your mat. Forward fold. Plant your hands. Step back. Downward feet. Take your flow. And then we'll meet in down dog. Holding in your down dog, breathing in your down dog. And then we'll come into half pigeon here. So take your right leg to the sky. Bend your knees, stack your hip. And then bring your right knee to your right wrist. Lengthen down over. Pain, inflammation, anxiety, insomnia. What else is new? Am I right? Well, thankfully we have your CBD store in Ithaca to solve all of those problems. This pigeon pose is once again brought to you by your CBD store in Ithaca. Guys, I'm going to tell you again, you gotta go check them out. They have so many great products, tincture oils, creams, lip balms, all sorts of lotions. Just going to relieve your anxiety, relieve your pain, and relieve your inflammation. This weekend they're having a buy one, get one 20% off sale. So please go check out your CBD store in Ithaca. Folding over that right front leg. One more breath here, and you can prop yourself up on your hands. You can reach for your back foot if you want, take a quad stretch. And then tuck your toes, lift that right leg to the sky, take some hip circles, shake it out. And then we'll take our half pitch on the other side. So left leg to the sky, bend your knees, stack your hips. Then bring your left knee to your left wrist. Shin is parallel to the mat. Make sure your hips are nice and even. And then fold over that front leg. Lots of tension being released here from your hips. Just try to breathe into it. Notice any sensations you feel. Just acknowledge them. One more deep breath here, and then lift up. Again, you can grab onto your back foot, take a quad stretch if you want. And then we'll lift back up, three-legged dog. Take some hip circles, and then foot comes back to the mat. We'll step forward, grab your blocks, and we'll roll all the way down onto our mat. Come into a back bend here. One back bend, you can either take bridge or wheel. You can take bridge here. Wherever you are, lift up. If you're in bridge, you can interlace your hands underneath your tailbone, pressing into your heels. Wherever you are, breathe here. One more breath, and then lower back down to the mat. And come into a happy baby here. So you can grab for the insides of your feet. Make sure your lower back is nice and planted on the mat. If it's not, you can release that grip and grab onto your thighs instead. Find a deeper stretch that way. You can massage out your lower back. One more breath, and then bring the feet down. We'll take an inversion here. You can take waterfall by bringing a block underneath your tailbone, or you can come into shoulder stand. If you're in waterfall, just let gravity do the work here. Lift your feet up to the sky. If you're in shoulder stand, you can find plow. If you're in waterfall, stay right where you are. One more breath. And then you can bring the feet back down to the mat. Remove the block. Find Supta Baddha Konasana, feet together, knees butterfly apart. If there are any other postures you need to make your practice feel complete, please take them. Otherwise, when you're ready, you will find our final Savasana. As your feet go long, palms facing up, eyeballs sinking into your eye sockets. Release any tension in your face and in your jaw. Just let everything be heavy, nothing more to do. And find rest here. Notice your toes and wiggle your toes. Notice your fingers, wiggle your fingers. You can roll your head from side to side on your mat. Take a big, long stretch here, lifting your hands up above your head. Then you can hug your knees into your chest, roll over onto the right side, find a fetal position here, one more resting posture. One more breath here. And then when you're ready, we'll meet seated position, crisscross applesauce at the top of our mat. Hands can come to heart center, eyes are closed. You guys did such a great job today. As always, be kind to one another and never, ever forget, your butt is absolutely perfect. Thank you for sharing your practice. See you next time. Namaste.